weakest link when it comes to rituals.
Oh, now women are weak. I love this campaign.
Someone had picked him up and you were carrying him back. And you were going to figure out what to do with the pants, either try and break him out of the pants or turn them back to normal. There was a lot to the
relatively soft, so getting him out of the pants shouldn't be too hard. Getting him out unscathed might be hard, but you know, it's doable.
Well, is he wearing tight pants? Is he a tight pants kind of a guy, or is he like a loose?
Search your heart. You know he's a tight pants.
I mean, you knew.
Too bad
We all knew.
There are only two types of guys.
He would be using a crowbar and trying to pry them off his body.
There are two wolves inside you. One wolf wears tight pants. The other one does not.
So they're going to work on an item that will permanently maintain that spell for you, or some other long-term solution.
I was gonna say, damn, they trust Aethelward to not just pop that shit off like Lord of the Rings style. Yeah, that's a lot of trust in a teenager.
Well, they haven't mentioned the fact yet that they're probably going to implant a spike in his heart or something with the effect on it.
Yo, Chainsaw Man mode.
All right, so
pull the rope to get the uncle out. Actual chain, Uncle Man.
You've seen the man from Uncle. But now the uncle from
the man. Good lord.
Garnet, why does Merrick have authority over the tribes of Ocarthal? How can he manipulate them?
DM question. What's the tribes of Ocarthal again?
The dragon tribes. No. The 10 dragon tribes.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not very lore versed, okay?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Into, by the way.
By the way, Merrick's a dragon. One of it. Oh yeah, but dragon tribes.
Oh yeah. Okay. The math is not mathing up right now.
I mean, when we say the pants are tight, the thing is, like, how, like, I'm thinking about, like, the materials that would be used to make pants and how tight they physically could be. And can we just turn him upside down and
let the problem sort itself out?
Let gravity do its job. Because, like, in a world without elastic, pants can only be so tight and still, like, let you walk.
That's wise.
I watch too much YouTube about historical clothing.
It is Paramir, and the pants are pretty tight.
Oh my god! Do not type lead pants into Google. You are not going to get a search that is going to be. My goodness, that's a big thing. Jeez.
Well, now I want to.
You know, you might be about half as capable of taking sword hits as me, but I will say you did a good job making sure we didn't lose the gun.
Yolalair does a hearty laugh and he goes, "And you, my friend, are purple," and then immediately falls asleep.
Hi.
Okay, describe this devil's fate at the claws of Slobber Chops.
He gets like whipped around, lands on his head, still like conscious and alive. Slobs just starts like going at his ass, just like and just disembowels him.
Oh! Like I imagine the camera pans away and you hear a sound like a wood chipper, and you just gore spewing off to the side. It's like somewhat, discretionary shot, but everybody
his legs are like.
Gah! And then Slobber Chops' face comes up into the screen, covered in gore, and it just does the one lick, the one like aggressive face lick. Yep.
I hate exactly what it is. I hate everything I stand for.
breaking time and space with their arcane potential. They're able to burrow into this creature's mind and tell it no. And determined, having not seen a creature for who knows how long, this lonely, sad soul ignores the command. And then, in retrospect, Camellia, burning an ounce of their heroism and the bit of luck that they got from Fortune's father, is able to also bring their will to bear, trying to force this creature not to do that. And like a stubborn child that demands more from life than what it's been given, the lonely creature says
it still has to make
9.
the attack roll for it to
That's
land,
right.
but-
And now it has to make the attack roll, so it is going to make its attack. After all of this, it's just going to miss. Watch. All right, so
Come on, baby.
harpoon arm, go. A natural 1. I have 9 inspiration. I'm using one. But that wail of yes from the natural 1.
It doesn't do anything for you.
Oh.
Yep. Sorry. It doesn't stack
What?
to become immunity.
Okay.
They
I
give
will
you one
give it
anyways
to-
because like they don't necessarily know, but yeah, everybody now has 1 potion of necrotic resistance.
I'll just slide mine over to Athalor.
All right,
There
you
go.
have 2 potions of necrotic resistance.
You got a lot of potions on you. You're the potion guy.
Potion
Thanks.
seller.
I didn't elect to become a potions guy, but hey, I'm not that magical anymore. So might as
Yeah,
well.
what else do you do? Am I right? So...
I'll carry the keg.
Got a celebration Gatorade that you can hose us with after. Iron flask.
Pop a corn out.
Don't ever do that motion again.
Why?
Disadvantage.
Yeah,
The rule will be no next time. Come on.
If at first you don't succeed, you can keep trying until you succeed, I think, is the saying.
I'm a
there.
trash cannot, Mason.
No.
I'm a trash cannot.
Got it. Remember the conversation that we had earlier? I think some concepts can apply here about how, you know, when you're in your own emotions, you feel like you want to do the thing right now, and sometimes you don't want to do the thing at all, and that's right now. But then you have friends or people that
I'm gonna die alone.
No, Garnet, you're gonna be okay. Let's just. Can you take some deep breaths? We can do it together. We can do it together.
Who am I gonna take to the blue gala or whatever fucking color it is?
And welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. This is Coriander Society Adventures, the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons world-hopping, genre-bending, dimension-skipping campaign. I'm Tormented by Gnomes, your game master after, like, 7 months or so? I don't know. It's been a while. But I am joined again, at long last, by LaFawn and Drozy. LaFawn, what's going on?
Well, it's a new year, so
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone. May this one be give you your goals as you wish them and prevent you from getting any bad things happening to you. Or at least keep them small and manageable. I think it's probably a fair thing to ask for.
May all the encounters you face be of reasonable challenge rating.
There we go. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting time in the last little while, and it's good to be back playing games with friends.
You've been on that Marvel Rivals train, right? Playing with
Yeah. I haven't been on the train so much as a couple of my friends are, and they're like, "Oh, you want to come play?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're cool to play with." So yeah, sure.
That's a good reason. That's a good excuse to hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I am not ready to go back to a hero shooter. I'm just
fair.
not.
Same.
That's fair.
Josie, how are things?
Things are doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Busy as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had some life changes since last time that I'm not going to make you air on camera, but
Oh
a
no,
lot
I
has
can
happened.
air my. No, I got married since we all last met up, and Gnomes was actually our officiant.
Oh,
I will swear I was not doing that to fish for anything. I was just like, you got married, you should tell people.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. So yeah, big life change. A lot of paperwork when you have to change your name.
Yeah.
We
never did that.
Yeah, I have no attachment to my last name, so I'm like, whatevs. Might as well.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it wasn't like it wasn't even a feminist thing. My original thought was that we should both make up our own last name and just take a completely new last name. But it turns out the one defining trait that unites us is inertia. Because changing your name is a pain in the ass. So, like, we talk about her eventually changing her name, but we still haven't because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because it's like,
You have to go through all your
you don't
accounts
have to go,
and update things.
And you don't have to go to the DMV. Don't. So, but yeah, I just decided to because no allegiance to my familial name, so whatever. But yeah, other than that, just been working, schooling, working with birds, working with squirrels, working with bats and mosquitoes, and God, what else? Possums and raccoons. I got trained on raccoon rehab recently, and I have a healthy respect for them. They're awful cute, but I have a very healthy respect for raccoons.
One of my early college memories was I was on campus at the University of Spoiled Douchebags, and I was standing down at the bottom of the cul-de-sac because we had ordered pizza for the dorm, and I was the one who was going to pick up the pizza. I'm standing at the cul-de-sac. There's a dumpster kind of nearby, and I'm just waiting there, and a raccoon pops out, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, raccoon! Oh, there's 2 raccoons!
Oh no!
Oh, there's another one in that culvert over there, and another one behind me. Am I gonna get jumped?"
Probably. The thing with raccoons is a wild raccoon is safer than a habituated raccoon. If they know humans and they know you might have food, then and they're smart too. They're smart. We have 3 locks into their enclosure that you have to lock and relock when you go in and out because they can find a way out.
And they've also been blessed with thumbs, so
that
intelligence has dexterity.
Oh, watching them use their hands is so much fun. They're so cute, especially this time of year because we have so many donated pumpkins from people. So many pumpkins, and so they get pumpkin, and you just cut it in half, and you let them eat the seeds, and like their little hands digging for the seeds. Oh my god!
We should pull up the Wikipedia article on creatures that have thumbs, but not right now. We're playing D&D right. It has been a while since we played, so let me go ahead and set the scene again. Across the infinite worlds of the multiverse, there is a star system called Pyrespace that floats around an enormous gate to the elemental plane of fire that acts as this system's sun. Called the Pyre, it has seen the rise of multiple civilizations on its beautiful, life-giving planets. It has seen them rise and it has seen them fall. Many, many ages ago, humans arrived in this universe. They did not belong here and they did not evolve here. They set foot with their advanced technology to colonize the planet now known as Ashen. There they built sophisticated facilities filled with advanced technology, genetic research, all manner of things, until they were abruptly cut off from their home world. Over time, sand and dragons swept over their civilization, wiping them out. But before it all came to an end, they sent out 3 colony ships to escape. One arrived on the jungle world of Verdura, one on the watery world of Quelia, and another went out to the deepest stars. Over time, they drifted from their technological past and acclimated themselves to the people and the places in which they found themselves and the power of magic. And as the centuries and millennia turned and turned, the elves of Periant developed the ability by magic to fly between worlds on spelljamming craft, discovering the halflings, the orcs, and the dwarves, and all the other species of this system. But eventually, someone out in the deep darkness found that 3rd colony ship and followed it back to its source, here. The Mind Flayers, the Illithids. It has been 100 years since they arrived and conquered the dark planet called the Forge at the very edge of this system, home of the dwarves and the orcs, subjugating it with their mental abilities and ending those cultures violently. Now the only dwarves that live free either live in hiding on that world or scattered across the other planets. And in memorial of their lost homeworld, they completely keep themselves clean-shaven, eradicating the great beards for which they're well known. Now, in this day and age, our heroes have learned that the Illithids are preparing for a mass invasion of the entire system. They have used the mineral resources and the subjugated people of the Forge to build an enormous armada, and in 6 months it will be ready to launch an invasion that will sweep across the free worlds of Pyrespace. They seek the power of the ancients, the technology of that colony ship that they found drifting in space. Fortunately, the free people of the Pyre have a secret weapon, allies from other worlds, John Carmichael, Asena, Day'lorise, and Yasmeen, who have arrived in this world from their own homes for their own purposes and have now resolved to help stop or hold back this invasion. When last we left our heroes, they had captured an Illithid spy and interrogated them, learning of this plan and of the ticking clock that is counting down towards a terrible fate. John has left on a diplomatic mission, traveling to some of the worlds he's experienced, high-tech worlds, even the world from which humans originated, in order to find help. Leaving Yasmeen and Day'lorise in the forest court of Periant, the world of the elves, and the home of Indogilad Fluris. There on this world, other plans are being made to face the coming threat. Before we proceed, does anybody have any questions?
I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm good for yeah.
Okay, excellent. We find our heroes in the midst of a beautiful room with fresh, misty, eternally autumnal air drifting through the open archways surrounding this high platform above the forest floor of Perion. Like so many of the rest of this civilization, the floor beneath you is alive, living wood, grown to form a city for the elves by their magic and their bond with nature. Bubbling water fountains surround you. There is a spread of delightful, light, refreshing food and fine elven wine before you, and a number of familiar faces gathered around this table. The king himself in Day'lorise Fluris is present, along with his enigmatic daughter, Adthea. Members of the pirates turned adventurers turned heroes for the crown crew called the Pilgrims are here as well. The captain, her lieutenants, and two of the loudest voices in the room are dwarves, one of them completely clean-shaven and marked with the tattoos of his people. Boguk Cairnmelter, a story keeper who has been a long-time friend of John Carmichael and now a friend to Day'lorise and Yasmeen. And across from him, Boignus Kimzabin, a flamboyant, rambunctious dwarf from a distant world who still sports a full, flowing beard, a huge hat with a magnificent feather, just absolutely extra to the top. And the two of them have been debating the best course of action. You two arrived, you were invited, roused from your chambers, and brought here after you've had a chance to bathe and avail yourself of the many luxuries of the court of Fluris. And upon your arrival, you're welcomed, and the conversation dies down a bit as they check in to see how you're doing and ask questions about the recent interrogation. And before the conversation proceeds, Medwithin, the gray elf Oniromancer, who has taken a particular interest in our heroes, asks you a simple question. Is there any power in your world that could help us?
I'm going to look at Day'lorise really quickly. A meaningful glance, I think. Almost a question of how honest should we be here about where we come from. I'm not being particularly shielded from Medwithin, by the way, with this, so she can read into this as whatever she feels is appropriate.
I mean, I think we can be fairly open. I don't know if there's a whole lot of... I don't know if there's a big risk in not being so.
Medwithin, it is extremely unlikely that we would be able to go back and ask for help. I suspect that beyond the question of assistance and how likely that would be coming from them, I don't know that I can return.
Mm-hmm.
She tilts her head inquisitively. I don't think you've told her this particular story. She won't ask for more information at this time, merely allowing the silence to prevail.
Does the... Okay, Yasmeen would absolutely remember this. Lafon, who's been out of the game for 6+ months, does not. And I would have to scroll up through so many notes to find it. The guild that our erstwhile employer was part of, what was that called again? Our clock friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. The oh my god, I don't have any of my notes on this computer.
But he was the something cyst. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Tinarius. No, those were tunnels.
Yeah. No, I think it was the Tinarius cyst as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the term Tinarius cyst mean anything to you?
She shakes her head.
Okay. There's reason to believe that it is a sect of magic practitioners steeped in a little bit more of a ill-bent direction who
That's putting it lightly.
Who are not limited to Ascus.
The Pact Malefic.
That is the one.
Yes. John's spoken of them. I've come across traces of their magic.
But they are bound up in a conflict that is going to accelerate pretty quickly, I think, within Ascus soon. And as such, assistance may be limited from any direction from within Ascus at this point.
I see. Boignus will speak up. Oh, what of weapons, technology? I've seen some of the things that you can do. It's astounding.
Again, I don't know that I would be able to help you with this. The limitations upon myself being what they are. But research and development, I think that I can help you with more accurately. So in as much as Ascus technology is available to you through me or my memory and research, I believe that is probably what we have going for us from my world anyway. Unless, of course, Day'lorise, you have something else that you think would make more sense.
I don't think so. Do we know if the illithid are susceptible to like technology?
Well, they're made of meat.
True. But I mean, in terms of like how technologically advanced they are, where are they at?
What you know of the illithids? Give me a history check, please, actually.
History.
There's also the small thing of the heroes just not having lethal damage.
True. A natural 20. Okay.
Ooh, well.
This is probably something you've picked up since leaving Ascus, rather than something you knew before. The illithids, ancient tales speak of a time when the illithids dominated entire worlds. Not merely planets like those floating within Pyrespace, but planes of existence. They had an empire of such power, such technological and psionic sophistication, that the blood war, the eternal conflict between hell and the abyss, they threatened to even outweigh that, to eclipse it with their might. It was not until the rise of Gith and the rebellion of their slaves that their empire collapsed totally and utterly across all worlds. And they have never come close to recapturing even a fraction of that power and potential. It is likely that there is technology out there of illithid make that is perhaps more advanced than anything, though to hear tell of what John has spoken and showed you, there may be some things that they never tapped into because of their reliance on psionics. So, at the moment, the best way to describe the illithids are, they are highly sophisticated, but they mostly rely on their psionic powers and primitive genetic engineering. They're more advanced and sophisticated than anyone in this system, except for the ancients who come from an extremely high-tech society, and the advances that have been occurring since Boignus and John started introducing new forms of magic and technology to this world.
Okay.
They must have left behind countless relics of terrible power.
We really got a read on that illithid when we interrogated them, eh?
Do we have any idea where some of those relics might be and if they could be of any use to us?
You know what's funny is I was going to put all these plot points in the Boguk Cairn Melter, the storyteller's hands, but you just rolled a natural 20.
Yes.
So,
who's a storyteller now, Boigness?
there are scraps, fragmentary tales of something called the annulus, which was a weapon that the illithids developed, the elder brains developed as a form of mutual assured destruction amongst themselves. A weapon specifically designed to be the ultimate psionic nullifier.
Oh, that would be really handy.
Yes. Yes, it would. It is supposedly it was lost because the rebellion of Gith was so drastic and so sudden that the elder brain in whose power it was left was overtaken before they could wield it. That would be lost in a place called Penumbra. Supposedly the heart of the ancient Illithid Empire. The location of which is currently unknown.
Interesting. Would there be anybody who might have an idea of where to find information on it, or
Are you bringing this up, or are you just racking your brain? Ow.
I'm bringing this up. Like, was there anybody living at the time that might have some ideas or might have heard something?
Bogak will frown, looking over the tattoos upon which his species history is writ as if jogging his memory. I have considered the Gith in all of this. Both the Githyanki and the Githzerai, despite their ancient enmity, they will stay their hand against each other and unite, though they loathe each other, in the face of a Gaich, of a mind flayer. They have sought the annulus before, and the ancient home of Penumbra. There is one who is more learned in all ways about such things, but he and his home were lost 100 years ago, consumed by a terrible psychic storm in the astral plane. Karluth, a powerful wizard and master of Rune Kazai, his stronghold. It was said that he delved deeper into such matters than any other. If the location of Penumbra is remembered, perhaps it is remembered there.
Interesting. Is there any way to get there?
Well, it's in the astral plane, which, if Asena was here, would be very easy to access. How familiar are either of you with the astral plane?
I'd say probably not, at least for Day'lorise.
Boigness will go ahead. Go ahead.
I would have an academic understanding of it, just based on the research that we were doing with the Great Machine.
That 100%
But
makes
beyond
sense.
that, probably not much.
Boigness will speak up. He's an experienced planar traveler. Well, the astral plane, it's sort of between everywhere. It's between here and the afterlife. Anything that's anything can be found there. Distance doesn't particularly matter. It's a realm of thought and dream. And so if we were to go to the astral plane, all one would have to do is set one's mind on Rune Kazai and you would find it. How long it would take would depend on how familiar you are with the place, and none of us have been there, so it might be a bit of a journey. Once you're there, you just have to head in that direction.
Is there a gate? You mentioned that time operates differently in the astral plane. There's no guarantee that it could be minutes, could be years.
No, time flows roughly equivalent to here, but its passage is felt differently. Don't have to bring food, for example. Won't age a day while you're there. It has its advantages.
Has anybody been there since? It sounds like there could be some like valuable stuff there, but has anybody tried to get there before?
It was swallowed by an astral storm 100 years ago. The Yankee fortress, large enough to hold about 200 troops, dragon riders. No, nobody's been there. It was 100 years ago that it happened, and the astral storm has been impenetrable. Just to approach it, a psychic storm, it'll blast you away, it'll fray your mind.
That actually leads me into my next question. It's not just an offensive tool we need against the illithid. We need defense as well.
What?
All the power in the world does nothing to us if we get controlled or turned on each other. How were the Gith able to so thoroughly surprise their mental masters?
They were underestimated, for one. But it is said that through the hardships inflicted upon them by their masters, they themselves developed the same powers. And it was through those powers that they overthrew the domination imposed upon them and rebelled. They are not utterly immune to it, but they are highly resistant. And they have practiced hunting illithids ever since their liberation.
It strikes me that we need a defense against the psionics just to even approach this storm. But that would also aid us pretty readily in fighting the illithid, yes?
Quite.
Okay, so to my mind, the timeline that we're looking for is focus at the moment in the defensive to give us an opportunity to go hunting for this penumbra. And that will be sort of the turning point. If we can get that weapon, then turn in the last moments as the illithid are gearing up for their assault, which is when they would be the most vulnerable to pressure, as they're trying to get the last little bows tied, as it were. Then that makes the most sense for our sally into their territory. Day'lorise, do you? I mean, you said a lot there, obviously from the weapon, from the psionic kind of force from them. Do you have any recollection or thread into where we could look for something to protect ourselves?
Do an Arcana check, both of you.
$19
and a 16. You are not yet back, Lafon. Okay, so there are a number of things that you could do. There is a 3rd level spell called Intellect Fortress. It's a concentration spell. It lasts for up to 1 hour. And at 3rd level, it affects 1 creature. And for every level higher, it affects multiple creatures. Advantage on all mental saving throws and resistance to psychic damage. The illithid's main powers, aside from mind controlling you, are its mind blast, which stuns you so it can eat your brain. So Intellect Fortress would be one such way. Potions of psychic resistance would help, though I don't think they would give you resistance against the stun, just against the damage. From mind control, protection from evil and good is a level 1 spell that prevents you from being charmed by aberration.
Okay.
So countermeasures are fairly available. The ultimate defense would be the 8th level spell Mind Blank. However, that is an 8th level spell and not easy to get.
Yeah.
It makes you completely it just no-sells psychic things entirely.
Okay.
Do we know how many there are on the forge?
How many illithids?
Yeah.
No, but it's going to be hundreds, at least, if not more. Like, they own the planet. Each colony is focused on an elder brain. And then once that elder brain creates an illithid, like a mutant mind flayer, that illithid will leave. They're almost like a bee, like a larval queen, where they leave to make their own hive. An illithid can become an elder brain by leaving. The initial invasion was sufficient to take over the planet. Now, one mind flayer with thralls and mind blasts and stuff can take care of a lot, but it's got to be hundreds. It could be thousands.
Oh.
It's a planet.
Joy.
Which means lots of colonies, lots of different elder brains on that planet. The exact number is unknown.
Okay.
Okay.
So a powerful artifact will help, but it's not necessarily going to liberate an entire planet.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if we can nullify psionics, then what?
But by nullify, I mean disintegrate, by the way.
Oh.
Like, it protects the wielder, and it can shut down psionics, and it can obliterate psionic entities.
Oh.
It's extremely powerful. According to, you rolled a natural 20, the legends say it could be used to kill a god. Once. If you just tried to destroy something, a psionic artifact or a god or something of that power, it would probably destroy the annulus, but it would destroy the target as well.
So it's possible with the breadth of the target we're going for. It's a one and done.
Depends.
Since there's so many.
Right. If you wanted to amplify it so it could hit a wide range, it might destroy the item. But you'd need to acquire it to fully learn its capabilities. And it's, at this point, myth and legend. Just myth and legend that you happen to believe is true.
I mean, until just a couple of weeks ago, didn't know there were other planets and planes and... Okay.
Trying to find astral plane psychic storm. Pulling this up here so I can see what the countermeasures for that would be. By the way, a while ago, someone played Luck is on our side, so each of you gets one luck dice that must be used this session.
Oh, goody.
Medwithin's kind of just been listening to this whole conversation, right?
Yes.
You asked if Askus has anything that could help in this. What sort of direction were you looking for a response?
Weapons, people, friends. Secrets.
Worst comes to worst from Askus. I believe you could likely trade knowledge for help.
With this Tenari assist or with others?
With assist.
So they're very... not unreliable, but...
success at all costs.
Untrustworthy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are reliable in the sense that they will do anything to complete their cause.
Even if it means sending dragons off their own, after their own personnel.
Personal experience?
Zombified dragons, but yeah.
She's thinking about this. Go ahead.
I would personally keep that as a last-ditch resort.
Would you consider even contacting them a last-ditch resort?
No. That, I think, is a fairly reasonable course of action, no? Besides, it would actually be a good test for me anyway. How much can I interact with Askus?
All right, well, the Dungeon Master has absolutely not prepared for a conversation with them, but I could probably do that today. I'm probably good to do that if we wanted to. She's thinking. She's 100% thinking about it. She has an idea that she's cooking right now. So, psychic storms, astral wind, psychic wind is just a factor of the astral plane. It just happens. Normally what it does is it can blow you off of your course, because in the astral plane, distance isn't really a thing. It's all conceptual. You can't measure the distance between the Githyanki capital of Tunarath and the fortress of Rune Kazai. There's no distance. It's just, if you're familiar with it, it will take you this much time to get there, no matter where else you are. So psychic wind disrupts your thoughts and pushes you elsewhere, so it can increase your travel time. It can blast you through a color pool that leads you into a different world than you intended to go into. Because the astral plane has naturally occurring portals called color pools, most of which are one way from astral to the other world, but some of which are two way. But also it is a wind of psychic energy, so it can mess with your head. That is an intelligence saving throw.
Right.
It is.
Is the princess here in this meeting?
She is.
She's to the left there, right? I think her name is under the health bar, so I can't quite see it. Do we have access to your library?
Of course. Why? What are you looking for?
I don't know what I'm looking for yet.
It's a very old library. Probably the oldest one in the system, except maybe for some of the Verduran libraries.
I mean, it's a start. Information is what we need at this point in time more than anything. We don't have a direction to move because we don't have enough knowledge to direct a path for our plan.
Boignus speaks up. Neither of you would happen to be friends with, say, a massive army back home where you come from, would you?
I think I have a grand total of, and I'm going to count everyone in this room really quickly. Let's say sub 20 friends.
Well, that just seems odd.
And even fewer acquaintances.
I'm sure that won't last. Look, we're talking weapons and learning and technology and secrets. That's all great, but in the end, they've got a big blasted bloody army. We're going to need one ourselves.
I mean, I imagine we could maybe count the dwarves on the forge as part of that army. If we can get enough coordination out there.
Boguk nods emphatically. Indogolad will speak up and say, the greatest concentration of military force ever raised in this system has not been called forth for 1,000 years. Not since the Drow were exiled to the Spider Moon has the entire might of the Perianth Armada been gathered.
So they're probably itching for a fight now, right?
It remains ready to this day.
At the mention of Drow, have they been conscripted by the illithid yet? Remember, they were sent a emissary at one point.
It was the illithids who loosed them once again upon the space lanes to prey upon our shipping and to hunt us and set their webs between our worlds. They're the entire reason the Drow have access to spelljamming in the first place. They made them a promise. They said, find for us the power of the ancients and we will destroy your foes. Meaning the elves.
Why are you guys fighting?
They were punished for their... I don't want to use the word heresy. Heresy is such a small, fragile, silly word.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We know a thing or two about heresy.
He lacks critical information. But they heeded the call of Corlon's deadly enemy, Lolth, and turned against us. and we could no longer live as one. And so we exiled them to the Spider Moon. We would not put to death our kin, but neither could we endure their demonology any longer.
How long ago was that?
1,000 years, roughly.
Oh, so like pretty fresh blood enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like none of us, nobody is alive from then, but like their grandparents were.
Mm-hmm.
Elf-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think
this
elves
isn't
run
like
between 350
long
and
enough.
maybe 750. Yeah, they're still pretty upset about it.
Yeah. Okay. So this
Especially
isn't like
because-
bygones be bygones, water under the
No,
bridge.
especially because the Spider Moon sucks.
Oh.
It's barely habitable. Like they went from this eternal forest autumnal paradise to it's livable. You can live there. There's not a lot of metal. There's not a lot of food. There's not a lot of anything.
I'm gonna turn to Day'lorise really quickly. Like whisper, like hand over conspiratorial. Man, people being sent to moons and like cut off from other places kind of sucks, no? And he used the word
Kind of sounds
heresy.
familiar. Kind of sounds familiar.
I don't know.
I'm getting some deja vu vibes. I mean, is there any way or desire to like, I don't know, trade with them maybe?
Everybody kind of and Medwithin will speak up. John returned from the Spider Moon not long ago. He killed their queen.
Oh.
And
Oh no.
And their envoy from the illithids. I believe he may have made some contacts in the process.
Look,
we must understand, regicide amongst the drow is not a awful crime. It is a moment of opportunity.
We don't need you to be friends with them. We need to undermine the illithid's pathways into this system. I'm going to pull up my notebook that I keep with me. Like well, I'm actually going to type in the watch and put like not quite a hologram, but that mini dot matrix printer that I built.
A Return of the Jedi hologram, right?
Yeah. The running tally of things we need to accomplish. Top of the list is the psionic protection, and the ways we can kind of go through that. Already under it, by the way, you can see a couple of like notes about pathways about how to build those spells out. Fun fact, they're on the Warlock spell list. So, and then under that is going to be the Power of the Ancients. Subnote again the information that Day'lorise provided to us, and then third, weaken the illithid's external hold within this. Basically, like all the things that are running interference for them. We were talking about the Gith Yankee and Gith Sarai moments ago. Bitter enemies. I think it's safe to say that the Drow and the Elves fall under a similar umbrella, if you will, in terms of enmity, if nothing else. You don't need to go to the same lengths as the Gith do. But I think it is in your interest to convince your peoples that the Drow are a lesser enemy than the illithid in this moment. Better the enemy you know than the one you don't, yes?
They nod. There's some begrudging nods around the room. This is a line of inquiry they have begrudgingly entertained in the past. Voignus coughs. Speaking of the Yankee and Zerai, now I know we've all got our fleets and we've all got our various this, that, and the other. They have an entire planet dedicated to building all of this up. Why don't we go get some help from their most hated enemies? a Githyanki incursion. They're astral sailors and pirates. They have countless vessels. They raid across 1,000 worlds. They heard that the Geich were setting up shop on this entire planet. It'd be a hunting season for them if we could get them to cooperate.
That's a big if, I
Boguk
think.
immediately interrupts and says, I'm sure they'd be happy to hunt here. The question is, would they leave afterwards? Or would they just keep hunting? The Githyanki are conquerors and plunderers. How can we be sure that we won't just make the problem trade one problem for another? It's still worth a shot. They already have a fleet that could outmatch these. Their fleet, their army, like I said, they're multi-planar raiders. They must, if they could unite their forces, they would have huge amounts.
This is not our world. We cannot make that calculus for you. All we can do is lay out the arguments for and against and lay them at your feet for you, the people of this place, to make the decision. Just as I would never ask you to make a decision on Ascus, and in fact would hate you tremendously if you did so. We cannot do the same. We cannot give you the answers here.
What is the relationship between them and the dwarves? Do they?
The elves and the dwarves?
The Githyanki and the dwarves and the even the drow and the dwarves. Like, what is their usual relationship politics?
So the Githyanki are largely... Give me a religion check, please.
Religion.
And you're both welcome to do this if you're
19.
19.
Okay, I'll do a quick check as well. I am definitely part of this conversation.
Mm-hmm. So the Gith are named that after Gith herself, who led the original rebellion that ended up destroying the Illithid Empire across all worlds. But after that happened, she vanished. And her successor, Vlaakith, told everyone that Gith went to hell and made a pact with Tiamat, the goddess of dragons. And as part of that pact, there's an alliance between Gith and red dragons. However, Zerth, I believe his name was Zerth, or Zerthamon, something like that. There was another person who said, that is sus. We should not be in league with the forces of hell. We should not fall prey to powers that could enslave us again, which started this huge civil war between the Githyanki and the Githzerai. The Githyanki worship Vlaakith as their goddess. She's the Lich Queen. And when a Gith, she has been their leader for a very long time. The pact with hell and with red dragons holds to this day. And all Githyanki look forward to achieving a certain height of power, at which point they are reunited with Vlaakith and undergo ascension and are never seen again. Under Vlaakith's teachings, the Githyanki pretty much hold everyone in contempt. They are taught that they are superior, that they should conquer and take from other people. They don't have a specific relationship with dwarves. They're just another... It's basically, you're either a Githyanki, a Mind Flayer, a Githzerai, or everyone else.
Okay.
And do the Githzerai hold such a dominant view over the rest view of dominion, I suppose, over the rest of it?
The Githzerai actually left. If the Githyanki now live on the astral plane, the Githzerai went to the plane of chaos, limbo. And they did that to challenge themselves because they believe in internal discipline. They have a monastic lifestyle that they use to hone their innate psionic powers. So they are very disciplined. They're very orderly. They have this tradition of spirituality, and they mostly don't bother people.
Gith's Thanksgivings must be real awkward.
They do what I do. They just don't go to them.
I'm wondering, I mean, this is maybe a little far-fetched, but Are there any like lost religious symbols, religious relics that we could potentially start maybe a rumor that they're on the forge? Because then we could get their help without inviting them to Perianth.
That might
Or
be
without-
worse, because then you've started a holy crusade, and they're going to want to take the forge for themselves.
But what if they thought the relic was just stolen and taken there?
Who stole it?
Well, the illithids, of course.
That would require a fairly sophisticated intelligence campaign, but it's not out of the question. The only question is if we could pull it off within 6 months. Lure the Githyanki to the forge.
I think the point about the Githzerai being in a civil war with them, having a contingent from them here is likely what prevents them, the Githyanki, from staying. You said that they are conquerors. If they're... And as such, the only thing that they kind of respect are their opposition.
They hate the Githzerai. They will... Basically, if there's a fight going on, and a Githyanki sees a Githzerai and vice versa, they will drop whatever they're doing to kill each other. Unless
Okay, so we don't want them around each other.
Unless they see an illithid, in which case they will work together to kill the mind flayers and then go back to killing each other.
Oh boy.
That solves a lot of problems.
This is definitely a very, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend for a very short time until I no longer have an enemy.
If we can reach the fortress of Rune Kazai, we might be able to accomplish more than one of these goals at the same time. We could look for information about the Annulus, possibly make contact with the Gith, and, depending on what we find there, we could plant information. Carloth's library is supposed to be vast. He did all sorts of ancient research. Maybe we could plant information there that indicates the existence of something valuable on the forge.
Or he may even have something valuable there that we can plant on the forge.
True.
All roads lead back to psionic protection. That is where we have to start.
Yes.
And you asked what we're looking for in the library?
Psionic protection.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Then, go ahead.
I would actually like to as I would like to take a contingency with me to the library. So the princess, obviously, whose name I'm blanking on for a second.
Adthea, that's fine.
Adthea, that's it. I'd like to drag Medwithin along with me.
Okay.
And I would like to talk to her on the way there.
All right. Day'lorise is going with as well, right? You want to go to the library?
I might actually try to see if I can learn anything out on the streets.
Okay.
With the help of, oh my God, Boigness.
Sure.
See if we can pick up any, like, vendor information, some, black market secrets on psionic protection kind of stuff.
Okay.
Even though there's a little bit of FOMO. A little bit.
All right, let's do Yasmeen's first. So the four of you, because Mireth goes with Adthea, she's the handmaid and she goes anywhere that Adthea goes. You're on your way there. What are you looking for, or what do you want to talk about since you dragged some people along with you?
So the first thing I'm talking shop is on magic. This is why I want Medwithin here. I don't know how much you know about my spellcasting. I use this term spellcasting as a shorthand for all of this. It is not spellcasting as is known here. Do you know Counterspell?
Yes.
Stop this spell, and I'm going to cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
No roll needed. It does not work.
Okay.
I have two factors that come into play. One, my spell casting is not susceptible to cancellation. As you have evidenced, you are a powerful spellcaster. There is no way in any world in which this should have happened. Correct?
I didn't even feel it.
If we can translate your spell casting via my more mathematical formula, I believe that we also solve another problem. The illithid are psionics, but they likely have access to spellcasters themselves. We would solve a problem where they would not be able to dispel any of our protections as well.
Fascinating.
I've been doing a ton of research onto the mapping of your magical system to the mathematical entities and models that I'm using. The details and the final application of that combination eludes me still. I do not yet have a firm grasp of your read of the energy that you kind of bring together. I think that if we work with your knowledge information, and I give you that translation layer, if you will. So this is not a spell cast. It is more a redirection of your spell casting translated via my methodology. That gives us the best chance of success.
See.
You asked what Oscus could give you in terms of like help. I believe this is our best look at what is available from there.
She's definitely interested in investigating. She's going to want to give you, she's a wizard, so she has arcane notation and such. She's going to want to sit down at some point, show you her work, you show her your work, and then see if there's a way that she can translate it. If she provides, can magical power be used to power your methods? Effectively providing the energy source, but then running it through your systems, converting that energy into something that you can use that then ends up not being susceptible.
That is one thing I wish to test. I have never had a entity that has been able to provide that. That is a pathway that I want to. I don't yet know, because it is not as if any spell that you cast I can understand, right? Maybe with enough time and resources, I would be able to do so. But I have a limited breadth to choose from, and I'll give like a general, not everything that I know, but you know, a decent taste of what the angle is going to be. Weirdly, ends up being very similar to the Warlock spell list. But that is something that I think your expertise. Yes, I do want to test that. That is the first thing that came to mind. We can do a quick and dirty one right now. Actually, give me something. List me a spell. Something not too particularly powerful, just and that isn't damaging in any way. I just want to make sure that we can interface in some way.
How about Major Image? It's a 3rd level illusion spell.
Okay. Do I have? Let me double check that I don't actually already have. No, I don't. Okay. I have some wizard stuff, so. I have the wizard ritual spell list. I have access to that. I have spells on it actually from there. For example, I have telepathic bond and instant summons available to me. I'd like to GM if you will allow me. So with the fact that I have some information about wizard spells, with access to that spell list, with the information that I've kind of, you know, the technological stuff, I would like to make an Arcana check here. First, as a if I can try and make this less of a casting of a spell and more of, can I understand this as a mathematical argument that becomes a mad scientist thing?
Do an Arcana check and a Science check, please.
Okay. Call this one Arcana. 13. Okay. And then a Science. Where are you? There you are. 14. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say. If you want to break the rules like this, taking this notation and this set of laws and this set of laws and making them play nicely together, the most likely way you can do that is by creating a device.
Okay. Yep.
And less of a temporary, just one-off, knock it off device, but like carefully building something that's got magic components and non-magical components that uses those formula.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that is actually part of my class. I'm trying to find you this list of things I have. A long time and a brand new character sheet ago. Hang on, let me. Control F is so useful.
Yes, live and die by Control F. Thank you, everyone who actually does your PDFs correctly.
Right.
We appreciate you, and we'll continue buying your shit.
Here we go. And because I'm an engineer of evil. Oh, where is it? Present. No. Oh, where did it go? Oh my god, there's like 6 or 7 pages I'm scrolling through. I did have a feature that allowed me to craft things. Technological crafting. Here it is. That duplicate the effect of magical items without the need for a naquem. So that's actually really important. Using mundane means and mechanical genies instead. It costs an uncommon one is 50 gold over the course of a month. Oh, sorry, 500 gold over the cost of a month.
For an uncommon item.
For an uncommon item. I'm not high enough level for the rare one yet. That is a 14th level thing.
Right.
So as part of that feature included, does that meet the threshold for this kind of thing?
I would have to look up the specific spell. Major Image, I think I said it's a 3rd level spell.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you can do that.
Okay.
I think you can do that. I'm going to try to pull up an example of some uncommon magic items here. Some major items that are uncommon items.
Yes.
Let's see. A broom of flying. A amulet of proof against detection and location. Brooch of shielding. Cloak of protections. Helm of telepathy. You know, a helm of telepathy, it seems like you should be able to build a helm of no telepathy. The ring of mind shielding is helpful, but it doesn't protect you from mind control. Let's see exactly what it does.
I think I have one on my character sheet, no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do, and I'm pretty sure it just protects you from having your mind read.
Yeah, clicking it does not put it into the chat. Unlucky.
Yeah. It prevents people from reading your thoughts, but it does not protect you from being mind controlled.
Right.
You know what you might be able to do?
Rest. Yes.
It might not be possible for you to make something that just permanently makes you protected, but it might be possible for you to make something that activates and has a duration. You know what I mean? Like a temporary defense.
I do have another feature, insane contraptions. When performing a ritual, if I have access to tools, I can build a contraption that incorporates the effects of a known spell or scientific gadget into the casting of the spell. The ritual spell, that is.
Hold up. Is calm emotions on your list?
Is calm emotions? I don't have it. I don't have it learned.
It's on the bard list and the cleric list.
Ooh, I don't have access to those yet. The next time I get a ritual, a level up, I do get access to those spell lists.
Nice. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. as a one-off, like you have 6 months.
Yeah.
That's not enough time to produce an entire army's worth of mind shields, right? Because it takes you 1 month to make something.
And I can't work on them simultaneously. I can only do one at a time.
But your insane contraptions. Now we're cooking. This is assume that this is the result of multiple conversations and theory crafting and stuff, right? You could build a device on board a ship that would allow it to pierce the psychic storm.
Ooh.
If you have the right spells in there that make sense,
yeah,
you could build something that would allow you to navigate that.
Okay. So less of a instead of like a device that just protects you full stop, it's more of a when it interacts with something that's going to throw us off course, it pulses to nullify that as like kind of a charge kind of thing.
Exactly. This would be a one-off thing, and it's possible that they're like this is less a answer to your question and more one possible avenue. That wouldn't be enough to like protect you for a full-out attack on the Forge or a massive psychic battle in space, but it could be enough to get you to this lost stronghold.
Which would give us access to a bigger library anywhere where maybe there's something there that could give us some action. Well, it's a path forward. And so far, it's the best path forward we found.
Day'lorise, you are in the market. You're looking for black market information. Is there anything specific that you're trying to hunt for? The market on Perianth has tons of magic. It's a very high magic area.
Not particularly. I feel like it's like more like thrift shopping where we're not looking for anything in particular. We're just kind of seeing if we can find anything helpful. I also want to listen for kind of like gossip or talk, because sometimes the news or the read on a situation is very different when it's not from the ruling
Official
class.
source.
Yes. So I kind of want to get a read on like maybe some like low level information to kind of like get the temperature if anybody's heard anything, what kind of gossip is going around, kind of things like that.
All right, if I can stop accidentally trying to print things. Give me an investigation check, an insight check, and a perception check, please.
Oh boy, okay. Investigation. Perception and insight?
Remember that you've both been...
and insight.
Okay. So, first off, you can buy potions of resistance for 250 gold. A potion of psychic resistance gives you resistance to psychic damage. It doesn't give you advantage on saves against being mind controlled or whatever, but it does help protect against some of their most deadly attacks.
Okay.
A scroll, let's see, protection from. So you can buy as many of those as you feel like.
Can I negotiate down a lower price if I buy in bulk?
Roll 1d100.
1d100. Wait, was it adding something? Why is it adding? No, okay. Nope. 22.
All prices are final!
Darn. Trying to save the world and they can't even cut you a deal.
And I'm trying to feed my family and pay for their expensive education.
Wait. Education is not free on Perianth?
Oh, basic education. Do I look basic to you? The finest
higher
tutors.
Education is not free on Perianth? Somehow
There's higher education, and then there's private tutoring. It's completely different.
Tutoring. Okay. So I guess I will get. How much do I have? Hang on. Where did I write my gold? Oh God.
Day'lorise, is Magic Circle on your list? Or Protection
Magic
from Evil and
Circle.
Good?
No.
What about you, Yasmeen?
Protection of good from good and evil. What level is that?
First. And it'd be listed evil and good because of alphabetical.
No, I don't believe I do.
Interesting. Okay.
Or at least in a quick search, I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Spell scrolls and tomes.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay. I have spent next to nothing of my wealth, so I'll take 5 of those.
Okay. Go ahead and knock off 1,250 gold and add 5 potions of psychic resistance. A
Done.
spell scroll of protection from evil and good is 50 gold. Now, that is a concentration spell, but it will make you immune to mind control. The reason calm emotions can work against a psychic storm is because a psychic storm is just accumulated psychic energy. So calm emotions will dissipate it and allow it to neutralize safely.
What was the gold amount?
1250.
250. All right. Does medicine have that spell?
Which one?
The
Protection from evil and good?
yes.
She does. And she can learn Intellect Fortress. If that's helpful.
Yes. I'll take 2 of the first one and 3 of the second one.
Okay. Intellect Fortress is it's a much higher level spell.
Oh, are we not able to learn that yet?
Well, you're a bard.
Oh, right.
You can only learn spells when you level up. You can't add spells to your spell list. But you can cast spells from scrolls.
Okay.
Scrolls.
How much is that? How much are those?
Scrolls of protection from evil and good are 50 gold each. It's a
Okay.
concentration spell, but it protects you from having your brain controlled.
Okay. So I will take 5 of those.
Add 5 scrolls of protection from evil and good, minus 250 gold. As for what is being discussed amongst the people, not imminent invasion by illithids. That's not public knowledge. That has not been shared with everybody. Not really even the drow, though the drow do get mentioned from time to time because they are raiding the space lanes and such.
Mhm.
Most of what's being discussed is gossip. There are 12 or 13 major kingdoms on Perianth, and the nature of elvish politics and competition is that it is absolutely cutthroat and completely bloodless. Like, they don't knife each other in the back. They don't stab each other in the back. But the constant, this person wore this to this person's party, which indicates this. Like, the little subtle messages and jockeying for position. And, like, it is... I mean, these people live for, like, 350 years.
Very, like, Elvin, bless her heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you realize that almost all of this stuff that's being discussed at the higher echelons, none of it is making its way down. That's not what's on people's minds at all.
And they're not even discussing dwarves or anything?
Why would they? Dwarves have been dwarves for the last 100 years. You know, it's such a terrible shame what happened, but like, did you hear what Medwithin did at her last party?
God. But tell me more.
Yeah, like
Okay.
they do talk about the outside world, but mostly they talk about Quelia because Quelia is a free world that trades with them, and humans are very interesting to them. Tropical fashion doesn't make any sense. Like, it's a tropical sunlit world compared to the eternal twilight of Perianth. So they're always interested in like news from there and goods from there and stuff, but it's not like they're not consumed by it. It's just another thing.
So there's not like, I mean, there's got to be like the equivalent to like Aqualia weeb, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would think.
To a certain degree, but it's more like a wealthy person who collects paraphernalia, ancient relics from the pre-human era, you know, stuff like that. More British Museum than weebery.
I mean, the only thing that separates that is money.
And forced invasion. But the elves have never forcibly invaded Quelia, so there's that.
Okay. So nothing of substance.
They're neo-colonialists, not actual colonialists. Correct. It's actually kind of shocking how separated all this is.
Okay. Interesting.
I think this is your experience right now. You came from Ascus with its sort of shining, gleaming exterior and this very hurtful core to it, both in terms of the dark undercurrent of heresy running underneath everything and the lengths to which the powers that be will go to maintain that gilded gleam to it. Perianth has been a breath of fresh air, literally and in a lot of other ways. But this is the first time that you start to see the decadence as decadence. Not simply in terms of being self-indulgent and enjoying life, you know, not the kind of decadence people sneer at, but it's just, you know, living.
Mm-hmm.
But in the sense of being sheltered and having time to just sort of stew in their own juices and get wrapped up in their own heads and the effect that has.
So some like a little undercurrent of similarities or a little undercurrent of like deja vu of like not necessarily useless decadence, but it kind of is, there's an underlying intentionalness to it.
Right. It's like, why that's other people's problems. In Ascus, it was this totalitarian state. On Perianth, it's this, you know, oh, that's so terrible that they have those problems. I'm going to go indulge in my luxuries.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I got my scrolls. I got my potions. What else can I spend money on?
Think about that while we go to a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Oh my god, he's like so smart.
And Tarsamore also saved. So yeah, the woman is the only one who suffered in this. We live in a
The
fucking
woman's
society.
the dumb one. Oh, the dice. Dice is
That's
sexist.
okay. How a chain is only as strong as its weakest link when it comes to rituals.
Oh, now women are weak. I love this campaign.
Someone had picked him up and you were carrying him back. And you were going to figure out what to do with the pants, either try and break him out of the pants or turn them back to normal. There was a lot to the
relatively soft, so getting him out of the pants shouldn't be too hard. Getting him out unscathed might be hard, but it's doable.
Well, is he wearing tight pants? Is he a tight pants kind of a guy, or is he like a loose?
Search your heart. You know he's a tight pants.
I mean, you knew.
Too bad
We all knew.
There are only two types of guys.
He would be using a crowbar and trying to pry them off his body.
There are two wolves inside you. One wolf wears tight pants. The other one does not.
So they're going to work on an item that will permanently maintain that spell for you, or some other long-term solution.
I was gonna say, damn, they trust Aethelward to not just pop that shit off like Lord of the Rings style. Yeah, that's a lot of trust in a teenager.
Well, they haven't mentioned the fact yet that they're probably going to implant a spike in his heart or something with the effect on it.
Yo, Chainsaw Man mode.
All right, so
pull the rope to get the uncle out. Actual chain, Uncle Man.
You've seen the man from Uncle. But now the uncle from
the man. Good lord.
Garnet, why does Merrick have authority over the tribes of Okarthal? How can he manipulate them?
DM question. What's the tribes of Okarthal again?
The dragon tribes.
No.
The 10 dragon tribes.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not very lore versed, okay?
No, that's fine. That's
20
fine.
Into, by the way.
By the way, Merrick's a dragon. One of it. Oh yeah, but dragon tribes.
Oh yeah. Okay. The math is not mathing up right now.
I mean, when
How
we
does that
say the
work?
pants are tight, the thing is how I'm thinking about like the materials that would be used to make pants and how tight they physically could be. And can we just turn him upside down and
Let the problem sort itself out.
let gravity do its job? Because like in a world without elastic, pants can only be so tight and still like let you walk.
That's wise.
I watch too much YouTube about historical clothing.
It is Paramir, and the pants are pretty tight.
Oh my
But, like-
god. Do not type lead pants into Google. You are not going to get a search that is going to be my goodness, that's a big thing. Jeez.
Well, now I want to.
You might be about half as capable of taking sword hits as me. But I will say, you did a good job making sure we didn't lose the gun.
Yolalair does a hearty laugh and he goes, "And you, my friend, are purple," and then immediately falls asleep.
Hi.
Okay, describe this devil's fate at the claws of Slobber Chops.
He gets like whipped around, lands on his head, still like conscious and alive. Slobs just starts like going at his ass, just like and just disembowels him.
Oh.
Like, I imagine the camera pans away and you hear a sound like a wood chipper. And you just gore spewing off to the side. It's like somewhat, discretionary shot, but everybody
His
knows
legs
it's
are like,
And then Slobber Chops' face comes up into the screen, covered in gore, and it just does the one lick, the one like aggressive face lick. Yep.
I hate exactly what it is. I hate everything I stand for.
Breaking time and space with their arcane potential, they're able to burrow into this creature's mind and tell it no. And determined, having not seen a creature for who knows how long, this lonely, sad soul ignores the command. And then, in retrospect, Camellia, burning an ounce of their heroism and the bit of luck that they got from Fortune's father, is able to also bring their will to bear, trying to force this creature not to do that. And like a stubborn child that demands more from life than what it's been given, the lonely creature says
it still has to make
9.
the attack roll for it to
That's
land,
right.
but-
And now it has to make the attack roll, so it is going to make its attack. After all of this, it's just going to miss. Watch. All right, so.
Come on, baby.
Harpoon arm, go. A natural 1! I have 9 inspiration. I'm using one. But that wail of yes from the natural 1.
It doesn't do anything for you.
Oh.
Yep. Sorry. It doesn't stack
What?
to become immunity.
Okay.
They give
will
you one
it
anyways
to-
because like they don't necessarily know, but yeah, everybody now has 1 potion of necrotic resistance.
I'll just slide mine over to Athalor.
All right,
There
you
go.
have 2 potions of necrotic resistance.
You got a lot of potions on you. You're the potion guy.
Potion
Thanks.
seller.
I didn't elect to become a potions guy, but hey, I'm not that magical anymore. So might as
Yeah,
well.
what else do you do? Am I right? So...
I'll carry the keg.
Got a celebration Gatorade that you can hose us with after. Iron flat.
Pop a cork out.
Don't ever do that motion again.
Why?
This is big.
Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures here in the world of Pyrespace. Our heroes are contemplating how to defeat or thwart an illithid invasion that will take place in 6 months. Thus far, they've uncovered rumors of an ancient illithid weapon that can nullify and obliterate psychic beings, which would be the perfect countermeasure to any such invasion by the elder brains under the Forge. To find it, they need to travel to the astral stronghold of Rune Kazai, which was lost to a psychic storm 100 years ago. They've been working on ways to reach the fortress and breach the storm, and equip themselves for battle against the dreaded illithids and their terrible psychic abilities. And spend money. Let's go back to Yasmeen briefly. Let us assume that over the course of some amount of time, you've been going over plans for this. What are they called? It's not an infernal. What is it?
Technological. Insane contraption.
Insane contraption. There you go. A contraption. Now, the issue with it is, again, it is large. Travel through the astral plane can normally be done just by going there and then floating with the power of your mind. But something this big is going to require a vessel. The vessel that comes to mind is Pilgrim's Progress, which, while it's a spelljammer, not an astral ship, should be compatible as long as it can be made to go to the astral plane. As long as they can get there, your device should fit on top of it. It should be able to power itself from the spelljamming helm in order to generate the palliative field that will sort of ameliorate the psychic storm on your way in. It is not necessarily, it's not like you're just installing something on the ship that's like, no, from now on, we just pull this lever. It's very cantankerous. It's going to require constant adjustment. It's,
100%.
Yeah, highly experimental, all that jazz.
This is even beyond the fact that fits from a more narrative perspective. There's no way Yasmeen would ever create something that worked. You know, it always, any maker will tell you, you bought something together and it works. It doesn't work.
It works.
Exactly.
Okay. No, I get it. I get it. Insofar as getting into the astral plane is concerned, I think John found a two-way color pool in orbit around Perianth at one point. So you just need to take off and fly through there, and that'll get you there.
Okay.
What else were you doing in the library or with the characters?
Yes. So there was the discussion about the spell casting stuff. I think just generally nerding about how it works. But in the actual library itself, if there was anything native to this plane that had a impact on psionics in any manner of speaking. So, like, for example, you know how lead blocks radiation? Is there something native to this entity, this place, that was known to limit psionic interference?
Roll an investigation check.
Investigation, where art thou? Here. I'm back.
12.
On a +9, by the way. 12 on a +9.
You want to use your luck?
I think I do. I think this is important enough to go for the luck here. So we're gonna roll that again.
While you do that, I just discovered that Benedict escaped from me when I was feeding the cats. So I need to go throw him into the cat feeding room. I'll be right back.
All right, I will be extremely theatric with this roll. So I am now currently hovering over my investigation. I'm about to click it. Perhaps thinking, what would this roll possibly be? Remember, this is a reroll. And so we do so one more time, putting it off as long as possible. And we finally click it. And we get a 16. So a 7, on the die. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Wow.
It's actually not bad.
You should have heard me vamping while you were gone, by the way.
You missed a very dramatic die roll.
You only went up by 4. That's terrible.
We think positively around here when dealing with the illithid. It's not as bad as it could have been.
All right. Actually, can you kill an illithid with positive thoughts?
No.
Oh. Toxic positivity.
What if they had really low self-esteem?
Well, then that would work on anything, don't you think? A couple of things. First off, the family library is extensive. It dates back to the founding of the Fleuris family line, which was thousands of years ago. So there is a ton of information here. There's also a locked off section that you only discovered the existence of it because it is concealed by roots that move to completely obscure it. So you don't know what is on the other side of it. You just know that it is locked off. You have also found multiple high-tech surveillance devices hidden in the library.
Any signatures on it?
Roll a technology check, please.
Hackers are famous for being private about their work. Okay.
This matches very heavily the small drones that John Carmichael has used.
I'd say I'm surprised, but let's be honest, we're not. Do they react to my presence?
The drones? No.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to take a pen and graffiti on one, not so it impinges on its ability to do its function. But I want to put my maker mark, draw the maker mark on the lens of one of these devices. sort of I mean, listen, Yasmeen was here. It's the symbol of the my maker mark, by the way, is my mask, the mask of machine command, with all the flowing geometric patterns that I've built into it and the golden tears.
Cool. All right. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything.
I would actually like to do one more thing.
What's that?
We have talked about me patching into John Carmichael's network before with my drones. Can I try and do that here?
Yeah.
Sick.
Upon patching in, you determine that there are multiple surveillance cameras hidden down here, that they have been down here for a long time, probably at least a year, maybe more. And they are primarily aimed at the sealed off section.
Okay. Is there any footage that is kept locally on the devices?
Yes.
Cool. Not relevant for me right now, but good to know. And also timeline-wise, because I remember, when were the symptoms of Athea's father first kind of made more, I don't say more publicly known, but you know what I mean, like less private?
They started before John arrived here a few years ago.
Okay. Cool.
And most of the footage that you see, some of it's just like, it's motion tracked, right? It's a security camera. So when somebody comes down here, it tracks it. A decent amount of it is of Indogolad entering and leaving that sector.
Okay.
Roll an insight check for me, please.
Gotcha. Do you want to guess what my insight modifier is?
2.
1.
I was close. All right. That is all that you know. That is all that you see.
Oh no.
Listen, what Yasmeen is good at, she's good at. What she's bad at, she's very bad at. Okay. Trying to think of really quickly if there's anything else that I would want to go over. Has Athea mentioned anything? Because it's been mostly me and Med within talking this entire time. Has she had any extraneous thoughts?
One of the problems with mind players is that there are certain mental defenses that you can use that basically make your mind hostile. Taking hallucinatory drugs or screening your brain with thoughts that as soon as they try to tap into it, it messes with them. Those are obviously a double-edged sword because they often subject you to their effects. But the alien nature of mind flayers means that they are rarely susceptible to such things, as they don't have the same kind of emotional response to them in a lot of ways. Just trying to see if I can find... Okay, it's going to take me a bit to look through some of the things that you might be investigating. So while I'm looking into that, I am going to say that you have enough information that when you are ready to set out on an expedition to Rune Kazai, you can do so. You just have to tell me that you're ready to go.
Okay.
You'll fly into the astral plane. There may be encounters along the way. We'll see what happens. But like that is basically when you're ready to gather your party and venture forth to do so. I am looking through some things to see if I can find anything on this planet that would be relevant to what you're talking about. In the meantime, is there anything particular sort that you would be looking to buy? There's plenty of things to spend your money on. The question is, Day'lorise, what are you looking for? Do you have a magic sword?
I believe you're muted.
I sure am. I have a... Oh my god, where is it? I do have one. Why is this not on here? Anyways, yes, I do. I will get back to you on what it is, because for some reason it is not on here, but it's a good sword. Oh, it's a Puradirk?
Oh
yes,
that's made from legally distinct Smurfs.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that your
So
primary
yes,
weapon?
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, I'm ranged usually, but that's
What
my
kind of ranged
primary.
weapons? Do you have any ranged weapons, or do you
I
use
have
spells?
a light crossbow +1.
Okay, so that's already enchanted.
Yeah. I was actually trying to find what would be some good things to have on the astral plane. Like, would it help us if I had like an astral compass? And can I find one in the market? Like, what other kinds of things
Ooh.
would help us
That's a
while
great
we were
idea.
there?
Let's take a look. Okay, necromancy, magic beasts, deal with the devil.
I was trying to look.
I swear there's a planar compass in at least one of these that can like point you towards
Yeah.
a color pool of some kind. Let's see.
Unfortunately, do not have access to my keyboard except for the one up here. So I was trying to look on my phone, and that is not
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find one.
mobile friendly. So yeah, some astral friendly devices or party favors.
Whatever happened to those boots?
They were tech boots, right?
Yeah.
The jumpy ones?
I thought they were for jumping or for digging?
Oh
digging
yeah.
boots, yeah.
Yeah. I believe you have those, don't you?
If I do, they're not on my character sheet. It might have been a case of we just didn't add them because it was in the middle of
Combat.
Yeah.
Well, you almost certainly have those.
And then I have because I also have something else from John some broken stuff from John Carmichael. I'm trying to remember what those were. Because there was something he wanted my help with to rebuild, but I needed to like familiarize myself with the technology before I could do so.
All right.
But I do have the digging boots because I remember using them.
For 2,000 gold, you can buy a planar compass that will point to the closest portal to a plane of existence that you specify.
What quality is that, by the way? What quality is it?
I don't know if it's uncommon or rare because I'm ass pulling it right now.
Okay, sure.
But if you make a note, I can try to specify that later. Someone also played a card a while ago.
2,000?
Yes, 2,000.
I'm trying to see how many things I can copy with my building abilities.
You can absolutely, yeah. This is absolutely feasible, and I have thought of some other ideas that could be fun for us to pursue down the line in terms of your mad science. But
in the interest of like, I'm only looking for like common stuff right now because rare takes or uncommon rather takes like a month, I think. And most of the month, most of the prep work we've been doing would have been on the insane contraption to, because that's a combination of technological crafting and insane contraption to just build it out. So it'd take us like a month to prepare the ship anyway, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So this is more like a 1 day thing. Like, do we have something that anyone needs a party trick kind of crafting thing?
Right.
Any downtime we have that I'm not working on that, I am trying to reverse engineer the technology that John has shared with me to like continue trying to reintegrate that stuff into my
repertoire.
Toolkit. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there is actually something I want to try. This is when we have, this is like, it needs its own time in a lab kind of thing. I do have a sample of the tea.
Morning tea.
Yes.
Mm.
Yasmeen is very weirdly careful with it, actually. So Yasmeen, when she's working, does not usually consider PPE as a concept. She's made of mostly metal anyway, right? Like,
right.
What is Day'lorise, you would have probably walked in on her, like in her lab at some point, like in her workshop, wearing like gloves and glasses and like a respirator, which is not common for her at all. But anyway, I'm trying to see the effects of it as a concept to like apply the hallucinogenic effects remotely, if you will.
Roll a science check and a nature check for me, please.
Okay.
Okay. How unfortunate.
Oh no.
Listen, you take swings and sometimes you miss.
Roll an Arcana check for me too.
Okay.
Okay. Mordain is extremely toxic, right? Like if you consume it instead of inhaling the vapor, it can be lethally toxic. So obviously there's chemicals that are released as steam that are not released in that form that remain trapped. Like there's chemicals that are released and then there's chemicals that remain trapped when it is steeped.
Right.
Or there's chemicals that don't aerate. Maybe they have a higher boiling, probably because I would imagine it's because they have a higher boiling temperature. But there may be some other chemical reason for it. I'm an English major.
I work in technology. Chemistry was the one subject I couldn't hang.
Which theoretically means that you could separate out those effects, right? Like if you could isolate the chemicals that are released and make sure that they don't deteriorate, because it's not just like, oh, we're going to capture the steam in a bottle, bada bing, bada boom. Like those chemicals probably break down or change. But this could be the basis of both a toxin and a hallucinogenic psychotropic substance.
Got it.
And that could actually have applications for mind flayers.
Ooh.
If you think about it, it's a psychic. In some ways, it's a psychic poison. Like it's a poison, and illithids are not immune to poison. And it has psychic effects. There is a world where you could weaponize this in some way with the right technology and the right modifications.
This is very private research, by the way. I'm not sharing this information with my group.
Create like a deadly illithid bath bomb.
Yeah. By the way, when I say that, I do exclude Day'lorise is exempt from that kind of limitation. Any work that I'm working on, she's more than.
But Med Within, etc., is not in on this.
Correct. Yes. Our hosts. Let's put it that way.
Do you have the Book of Evil Darkness open right now?
Book of Truth. Yes, I do.
Is there a spell in there called Psychic Poison?
I believe.
I ask because there's a 3rd edition vial spell called Psychic Poison.
Yeah. Nothing on a quick search. And just the word psychic gives me 46 things. So.
Okay.
Let me go to the spell list real quick.
Day'lorise, did you end up buying that device?
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
I'm
still trying to see if there's anything else, but
how much money do you have?
Left, I have about 1,500.
1,500. Okay. That's not. I mean, it's not the worst idea to hold on to that unless you want to buy some healing potions.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, healing potions are not a bad idea, actually. Oh wait, I have 2 potions of healing. So in a pinch, not bad. Maybe I'll grab 2 more of those just in
Basic
case.
potions of healing are 50 gold each.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do 2.
Those are 2d4
I'll give you
plus.
I'll give you another 100, so you can add 2 on for yourself again.
Greater healing potions are twice that, but they cost 250.
Oh, I can do that. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 15,000, not 1,500.
Oh, that's a different number. Are you in the market for a spelljammer? Would
Like
you
I
like
said,
to
I
buy
have spent
a house?
I have spent nothing.
Yasmeen is downright poor compared to.
Do you want an apartment here?
That's why you said I'll give you 100 for 2 more. I was like, hang on. Wait up on that. How much is Potion of Greater?
250. Do you have?
Oh wait, I have one of those. Let's do another one.
Do you have a magic instrument?
I think I got bagpipes. I don't know if they were magic.
The bagpipes of haunting, maybe, but they might just be bagpipes.
No, I think I just have a basic instrument, I believe, yeah.
Okay. Marikoth. You remember Marikoth? He's like a distant relative of the throne. He specializes. His whole thing is the trade of magic items. And if he at all catches on that you are a bard and that you are flush and that you have no idea what to spend this money on, he has some ideas. He can hook you up with some people. Instrument of the bards.
Can I get like an enchanted guitar?
Not in this world, unfortunately. You would need to go to a different world with different aesthetics. All right, let's look at the
Potion of Greater Healing, 250 minus that. Okay.
All right. You're at the level where you can buy things that people normally quest for.
Oh, gold pieces are like, they're like mobile money to me. I don't understand it, therefore I just kind of leave it there.
Okay. In Roll20, look up you know what? Maybe I can drag and drop this. Yeah, I can drag and drop this.
Oh, wow.
This is 5,000 gold.
Oh, wow. Oh, it has spells on it. Oh, hey, it has protection from evil and good.
What a weird coincidence.
It can cast each of these spells once per day.
Huh. How coincidental. Yeah, let's do that.
And if you're casting a spell that charms people, if you play this instrument as part of it, they have disadvantage on their save.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So that is going to be 5,000 gold off, and we can just drag and drop this thing to your character sheet. This requires attunement, by the way, and you can only attune to 3 items.
I am only attuned to 2 currently. The dirk and a cloak of displacement.
Okay.
Which I actually don't know where I got that from. That may have been something from John.
It sounds familiar. I feel like you did have
I think we
that.
we bought it before we went to get the spy, no?
And what was the first item that you had?
The dirk.
Okay, yeah. All right. So you now are attuned to 3 magic items.
Okay.
Yeah, with that kind of money, you could, like, if maybe buy your own ship, and if not buy your own ship, like, I also just love the idea of Day'lorise being absolutely stupid rich and having no idea that she is.
I mean, that's kind of what happened.
I think that that's not just an out of character thing. I think that's a funny in character thing as well.
Excellent. Okay, where am
The only thing I'd be looking to buy is like armor of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
I have studded leather armor +1 right now, so I don't know if
Okay.
there's anything necessarily an upgrade over that I can afford.
Yeah, that's
Well,
like 5,000
how
gold.
much are you
Yeah.
talking?
I only have 2K.
Because
I say only 2K. 2K is still a lot.
I
We're
can
talking
loan
in terms
some
of
money out.
relativity here.
I can loan some gold.
I mean, I think the +1 actually does what it keeps me at 18. I'm totally chill on that.
How many items are you attuned to?
As far as I know, 0. Because Mask and Machine Command does not require it. Oh, 1, because I believe Ring of Mind Shielding does require attunement.
Yes. Do you want a Ring of Protection? Those are 5,000 gold.
I can't afford that.
I can give you money. What's if you have 5,000 gold between friends?
+1 saves, all saves, and +1 armor.
Oh.
If Day'lorise is offering, then Yasmeen has no reason to say no.
Yeah, let's do this.
Oh, sure.
You are now Marikoth's favorite person. He's just like introducing you to all of his artificer and friends and stuff, and just like making the arrangements and so on and so forth.
I will say, okay, so Day'lorise, I can get. Oh my god, I have to do calculations in my head. Because I have to spend the money on the ship, right? Or is that being bankrolled?
That's being bankrolled. This is
Okay,
this
so
is an
that-
official court project. Yeah.
I'll just give you the 5,000 flat, and you can
Roll before you do that. Roll 1d100 for me to see if this particular salesperson is
Oh,
haggleable.
me or
Oh no, you for sure.
Yeah, you're the one
okay.
bankrolling it. You do the
1D,
roll.
100. 81.
81. Roll persuasion check. This particular person is known for cutting good deals, especially for friends of Marikoth.
All right, persuasion. Are you serious? I rolled a 4 on persuasion. It's still 16, but
Well, that's good enough for 20% off, so you spend 4,000.
yes.
That is incredible.
The Lafon luck is rubbing off.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The only other thing I'd like to do, this is not a right now thing. This is just sort of a push in the future. If there's anything that can push my primary modifier above 20. But again, that's like just in general.
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Well, in most cases, 20 is the mortal limit. And so if you want more than 20, you're going to need to go to non-mortal means.
Wow, what a coincidence.
I feel like that's not a problem for
You've
Yasmeen.
you've been to hell before. I'm sure if you're willing to part with your soul, you could get that bumped off. Well, you're pretty you're actually very certain that making a deal with a literal devil would solve that problem for you.
Out of curiosity, though, like with the heresies, what is the market value on our souls? Are they more valuable or less valuable?
That is actually a good reminder. On the way here, do we pass any like people who are in need or anything like that? Does someone drop a bag of oranges that I can pick up for them?
Yeah.
I will do so.
Okay.
Very publicly.
Dink.
Sick. I'm now at 9. Our audience will have to just imagine what is meant by that.
Day'lorise, roll a religion check.
Religion check. 17.
17. Well, this is also something that you would probably have only barely researched before leaving Ascus, but now that you're in a place with less restricted information, because as it turns out, there is information about devils and such in the family library of Fluris. There's information on a wide variety of topics. You are inclined to believe that because the heresy, you are able to resist it. You are able to attempt to fight it. because you can make saves to not do what it says, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means that you still have your free will, which means that the fate of your soul is not prescripted.
Okay.
Now give me an Arcana check.
Got a 10.
Well, LaFawn would know this. Devils want souls for a variety of reasons. First off, you can use souls as a source of power. There's a reason people do like ritual sacrifice, right? Or, I want to become a god, so I'm going to create a transmutation circle that eats the souls of this entire city. Like that power goes somewhere. Devils also are particularly interested in souls because they are constantly recruiting for the blood war. And the more powerful, and so when you die, if you have been damned, your soul goes to hell and you join the blood war as a devil. More powerful souls can spawn as more powerful devils, which means that they are more valuable, which means that the devil who recruited them gains more status in the 9 hells and is likely to get promoted to a higher, more powerful form of devil.
So what you're saying is if the soul is sold, just don't die, and then you have a perfect deal.
I'm not saying that, but with the 27 Arcana, I'm also not saying that.
All I'm hearing is the art of the deal.
Are you also saying that devilry is basically an MLM?
Yes. Yes.
Honestly, like considering the setup of D&D, yeah, that makes a ton of sense actually.
Yeah, like devils need, so demons are infinite. They just spawn from the abyss forever. And the devils have to fight them or they will destroy everything. Also, they hate them. So they are constantly trying to get more troops. That's like the driving reason for them to tempt people into evil is because they want fodder or troops
They
for the
need
blood.
somebody in their downline.
Exactly. And so you recruit one, and then if they get recruited at the bottom, but if they manage to survive and then they recruit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, hell would be in it.
So you would happen to know that you two are very powerful characters. Your souls would be worth quite a lot. And John has trafficked with devils before. I think you would know he hasn't sold his soul, but he's made the one-off deal here and there for other things.
Something to keep in mind. Okay.
Just jot that down for later.
Huge power boost, sell your soul.
Yeah. There is actually one more thing I would like to test. As a kind of setup. I'll go to Medwithin for this. I'll explain to her the you know what? There is one more magic thing I have in mind. If that's okay with you, before we get set to go.
I'm always curious.
I believe you've heard us speaking about heresy at some point or another.
Rather quaint word here. What do you mean by it?
We had that conversation about lying a while back, and how you saw my honesty and thereabouts of it, correct? There is something forced upon us from elsewhere within our world that causes some of us to be afflicted with the abilities or with these negative traits associated with it. Oh, the defaults: lust, gluttony, and beyond. A bunch of them.
So you're forced to enjoy life.
Is anything enjoyable if it is upon you without your choice? Regardless, that is a question for philosophers and not this moment. What is more interesting, though, is that there is a concept of good and evil, but a very physical, visible one. I don't know if you recall when we were shopping, how when I would help someone, I would appear more good to the outward world. But the reverse is also true. By doing evil things, it is also marked upon me indelibly. I wonder if that's true for everyone outside our world. With your permission, I would like to test that.
Why not?
And this is going to require Master of Rituals because I don't have any other way to increase sin. Let me get the details of this one here. Okay. A vile ritual, sacrifice a fae. I would like to find a non-sentient fae creature and use this ritual upon it. The target being Medwithin.
Okay, you're gonna drop the ritual into chat.
I will have to copy it because it is in. Hang on, let me. Here we go. Oh wait, no, it's on my character sheet. I can just. I'm not gonna copy the entire thing because there's a lot.
Wall of text.
You don't want to read this. This. You know what? For fun, we'll do it.
Wall of text.
Power of Mana is the one that I'm going for, which is the second one. Yeah, here it is. Here, I'll copy this one on its own so it's not. There we go.
Okay. So you ritually sacrifice a fae creature, and with the help of Medwithin or others, it should be possible to obtain a fae creature here.
I will not torture it.
For the extra juice.
Correct. We're just testing things.
Mm-hmm.
No need to get into the dark arts yet.
Okay. And it infuses in her the power to cast detect magic, identify, or dispel magic. They have various amounts of charges. Okay. She, by the way, is down to part. Once she sort of sees what you're doing, she goes along with it.
Oh yeah, this is very much dependent on her acquiescence. This is not a forced thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A Garridae is a water-striding insect that is large enough to be used as a mount, and it is a non-sentient fae. So she will procure one on the market for this sacrifice. Okay. And you spill its blood with a ritual blade, and its essence wraps around her and infuses into her. She gasps a little bit. Then what?
The activation of sin, does that mean anything to you?
She shakes her head.
There is one more thing I would like to try, if that's okay with you.
You can see her sort of not using, but sort of testing out the power you just infused into her, messing with it.
I would awaken heresy in you.
What is the risk?
The same fault that I have in me would be applied to you for 30 days.
Would this put our endeavors against the illithids at risk?
To my knowledge, no. It is simply a feature that I suffer with always. So in as much as that comes through, then yes.
The curiosity gets the better of her.
I will highlight, if you fail to resist the spell at its termination, the effect becomes permanent.
And what are these effects? You would make me lie as you do?
I will not be making you do anything. This will be a feature branded upon your soul, such as that is.
Roll
You may
persuasion
resist the effects of it. What's that?
Roll persuasion check.
Okay. A minimum not natural one. Tremendous.
You can definitely tell she's apprehensive.
For clarity, I am not trying to force you to do anything you do not wish to do. I lay out all the risks ahead of you ahead of time. And I do so in the interest of research and not much else. Make no mistake. Okay. Make no mistake. This is not something that is in the interest of learning more than anything else. And you, as a scholar of magic, are one who would be able to give me more details than a layperson.
You can tell that she is struggling with this right now because the upside doesn't seem to match the downside. Though she doesn't say as much. She's hesitant. She's asking the kinds of questions one uses to dissuade or sort of gently nudge away from the idea.
I think so. Yasmeen is coming at this with purely a scientist's, like a researcher's thing. Here are all the risks of the things. You absolutely should say no. This is not something that is beneficial to you in any meaningful sense. If that is her, like if she's resistant to it.
With that insight check, Medwithin is not only a researcher. She does not do everything she does for the love of knowledge. And because of that, she is going to go ahead and gently decline.
Your right has been respected.
And she hopes that this will not dissuade you from further such inquiries.
Oh. I think Yasmeen's smile is like, up to now it's all been half smiles at the very most. This is just a straight up grin at the concept of giving up on research.
Okay. Yasmeen and Day'lorise, was there anything else that you wish to do before setting off on your astral journey?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty prepped.
Okay. Then on this journey, you will be taking with you the Pilgrims, their ship. They fly it. You may also bring one other person with you, if you so choose. You could bring Medwithin, Boigness, or Althea.
Who would be the most useful to come?
Medwithin, I think, is probably the most reasonable. I would like to quickly. I would like to walk up behind both of the other two possible choices, quietly and without really much affect, and then poke them in the side quickly, like in the kidneys.
Roll. Are you trying to be stealthy about this?
Yeah.
Roll a stealth check. 4.
Like I said, what I'm good at, I'm good at. What I'm not, I'm not.
So Boigness notices you, but doesn't expect to get poked in the side. So you still successfully poke him, just like, Lass?
A test.
Oh, my reflexes are in perfectly good shape.
Not your physical test.
Oh. Did I pass?
Tough to say.
It's not that tough to say. There's a yes or a no.
Preliminary conclusions are positive.
Then I'll take it. Roll a stealth check to sneak up on Adthea and poke her in the kidneys. Mireth blocks you. Not like a kung fu like whop, but just sort of like gently interposing herself.
Gracefully.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work.
Do any of them have experience on the plane, astral plane?
Medwithin does. Boignus definitely does, actually. You see, I imagine this would come out at some point. Before he arrived here, he was a planar traveler. He's been all over the multiverse. His specialty is he talks with like big, flamboyant, extravagant language, but he's basically a portal cracker. He hijacks portals and transports and stuff like that. He crashes them to get to places people would rather him not be. And that's been how he's adventured across the multiverse. The only reason he stopped here is because he's got such a cushy job now. Like he's in good with the court. He developed this thing that's key to the economy. He's fabulously wealthy. He's well liked. Like he's very happy to be here, but he used to basically be an interplanar thief and con man. In fact,
he's basically like
he wouldn't tell you this. John would tell you this. The ether relay that sped up interplanetary travel started out as a con. He was going to con the king into giving him a ton of money to fund this. And he had already insinuated himself into the court. And then he met John and talked with John, and John was treating it seriously. He didn't realize it was a con. And when Boignus looked at his math and stuff, he was like, wait, this could actually work. So it was a con that accidentally turned into a real gig.
Oh man. He just stumbled his way into being legit.
Yeah. Like it was definitely a collaborative effort between the two of them, but he accidentally went legit. So,
I mean, taking how many of them can we take?
I would like you to take one so that for plot reasons, I don't want them to overshadow you.
Yeah,
frankly.
that works.
But Medwithin,
I mean, it's between those
Astral
two.
and Dream is like very, very similar, and she has a lot of familiarity with it.
I would prefer to take Medwithin.
I was gonna say, personally, Medwithin. Polarity, Boignus. He's a very entertaining individual.
Well, Medwithin is in different ways.
How many hats would he bring? Journey.
Do you want to hear a secret? Boignus only owns one hat.
I was gonna say, is it the same hat?
But it's enchanted. He changes it. Yeah, he just has the one hat that changes however he wants it to. It's actually a hat of disguise that he used to use for his cons, but now he just uses it as a fashion statement.
No, never let a good fancy hat go to waste, you know?
Exactly.
Now he's just making me think he's like the IT guy at a Fortune 500 company that shows up in like loud sweaters and
he's the idea
Hawaiian
guy.
shirts.
He's the idea guy who wants to tell you about his latest crypto venture or whatever.
Mhm.
Except that he actually knows what he's talking about. He's not like just a tech bro. But he does want your money, but he also actually likes the thing he does. All right. Then the ship hovers at the long branches that make the Perianth port springing out of the top of the canopy. Zomkug, the half-orc, helps lug all the supplies they're going to need for this journey. Lonnie Laysimple, the pilot, expresses her excitement for traveling off-world out of the prime material plane into the astral, by citing some of the horrible things that can kill you there that she's heard of, that are going to kill you when you arrive. Captain Domnica is yelling at everybody and cussing at everyone to get to work the way that she normally does. There's no spite in it, and everyone knows it. And Medwithin is going to go ahead and make her way. She's been on voyages with you before. She's done trips on this vessel many, many times before. So she has her, accoutrement, like just a cart full of luggage that she always brings with her. Tons and tons of stuff to try to zhuzh up. It's a nice ship, but it's still a ship, you know what I mean? So she brings lots of magical comforts and decorations to make it a little bit more respectable.
Glamping.
Yeah, glamping, exactly. And then barring anything else on your side, they've got ammo, they've got food. The nice thing is, on the astral plane, you don't have to eat.
I wish I could live here all the time.
How much of the has this crew or any of these crew been to the astral plane, or is this their first
This will be their first such
this
voyage.
will be their maiden voyage, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Medwithin is actually going to be sitting in the helm, is going to be standing next to the helm with Lonnie to sort of be the local expert to help her on things.
Okay.
It should still work. The power of the ship will still work. And because it's mentally controlled anyways, and the astral plane is mentally controlled, like mentally guided, that should be fine. There shouldn't be any problems there. But nonetheless, Medwithin is going to be next to her as the local expert.
Before we go underway, there is one thing I would have liked to do.
Yeah.
And that is install a radio on the ship.
Ooh, okay.
That paths into my tech.
Okay. You can set that up. And you're
I
used
assume,
to...
maybe one of like my homunculus drones would also work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could repurpose one of those and just kind of build it out into a stationary thing that just kind of
a receiver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good idea. Where do you want to install that?
Where will Dominic allow me to install it?
She's torn because this is her ship and she doesn't want you messing with it, but she doesn't understand what it is you're doing and if it has any weird restrictions on it. So this is like, it ends up being that situation of, what's your price? What's your budget?
Yeah. Okay. So is there any sail? Is there a mast on the ship?
There is kind of. There's this overarching. Let me get out my ruler so that I can point at things. There's the big elemental ring that powers up, that drives it. And then there's this armature that sort of goes from here to here.
Oh, perfect. I would like to install a wire. So this is kind of fast and loose because this is half magic, half science kind of thing.
Right.
But essentially install a wire along the length of it to act as an antenna to increase the broadcast range. And then pipe it somewhere where the captain has access to it. But in an emergency, any of her crew could also somewhere that's like private, but not in her quarters.
Okay, this ring right here generates a ton of interference.
Right. So I don't think going up all the way on the thing would make a ton of sense.
Up to here, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or along the outskirts, like the perimeter of the ship itself. As kind of like a, how like modern phones on the outside of their thing, that's where the antenna is, kind of thing maybe. But that might step foul of how much she's willing to let me
no, that's
interact with her.
If it's not like a huge amount and you're not gonna, bust the nice lacquer on it, then that's fine.
No, yeah.
That's unobtrusive.
Yeah, this is very much a case where like it needs to be somewhere where the people won't step on it, where they won't damage it,
Yeah. It's unobtrusive. It's not like you're trying to install a big statue of her ex or something on there. So that's...
The thing is, if I attempted to install a statue of her current partner, I think she'd probably be okay with that. No.
Well, his head is already big enough. He doesn't need to get any. He's already an arrogant prick. He says affectionately. Will that be all?
Yeah. This is if we ever need to get in contact with each other when we're not on the ship, this is a non-magical way to do it. It just makes us a little bit more safe in the instance that things go wrong.
Okay. Once more, the increasingly familiar sensation of the world falling beneath you, swiftly obscured by the eternal autumnal mists of Perianth. Now the sun shining over the top of the clouds, the ship remains oriented with the world until it gets higher and higher, and the curvature starts to flow out beneath you. It's not until you are well out of Perianth's gravity well that it starts to align itself in a different orientation. And the course that you are setting is for a random-ass point in Perianth orbit. You are not going to the ether relay that you've used for travel before to swiftly go from point A to point B within real space. You're just going to some totally empty part of space right now. The journey takes a couple hours. And as you approach, there is a certain amount of apprehension on the part of the crew. As much as interplanetary travel, compared to Ascus, interplanetary travel is a completely normal thing here. They've done it hundreds of times. They've been to all these different incredible worlds, but they've never left this plane of existence before. They are going somewhere entirely outside of Pyrespace. And so, with Medwithin's guidance, Lonnie takes the ship. One moment, you're passing through the darkness of space. And the next moment, a silvery expanse completely overrides all of that. The air here, if you can call it air, it feels crisp, like when you breathe in, when you go outside in the dead of winter. But it's not cold at all. It's just sort of this, it has the crispness to it, but does not freeze and does not burn.
The crystallized idea of a cold.
Exactly. There's a clear silvery sky above and below. In the distance, you can see long clouds, like huge tubes coiling of clouds, just circling off in the distance. You have just emerged behind you, where in real space there was nothing. Here, there is a swirling pool of color. And I'm trying to figure out, oh, it's silver. But out in the distance, you can see flecks of swirling metallic color in 1,000 different shades all over the place. It is simultaneously, there's so much to look at and so much to see, and nothing at the exact same time. I have an image that I'm going to pull up, but I have to hide all the stuff that isn't relevant because it's the one that we use whenever they go into the astral plane. So give me a sec to hide everything.
Ooh.
There we go.
We're going to meet Lisa Frank.
Off in the distance, a rainbow splashes onto a unicorn. There's
So
some
the astral plane's a nebula, essentially.
Basically, yeah. It's just infinite silver, pinks, and blues nebulas. There is stuff here, but it's very far apart. And with that, the ship sort of just starts turning. Lonnie is focusing on Rune Kazai, a place she has never been before. And I would like Day'lorise, roll 1d10 times 50, please. You can use little asterisks.
Oh boy. How do I do that? Let's see.
/r space 1d10 asterisk 10. Or asterisks 50, rather.
Slash
You know you can use this to do math?
R. That is cool.
You can do like
the chat of Roll20.
Yeah, you can do /r space and then you just put in a math equation instead of dice.
1d20 times
1d10.
50?
1d10 times 50.
10 times 50.
Okay. What that means, it has something to do with your travel time. The exact unit, Medwithin will tell you it's not going to take you 400 days. It's not going to take you a year to get there.
Oh my god.
It's not a year, but it could be a week. It totally varies.
A week is significantly better than a year.
Well, one keeps us on schedule. The other one blows us well past it.
And you get back in, everyone's dead. All right. Now you're just traveling. It's the usual. Boguk entertaining the crew with dwarvish chants and stories. Everybody spending a lot of time just looking at the sights, at the incredible nothingness in all directions. How would the two of you like to spend your travel
time? A significant portion of Yasmeen's time is spent double and triple and quadruple checking her construction. This needs to work.
Roll technology check.
Okay. Okay.
Now that you're in the astral plane and psychic wind is actually a thing, it's picking things up and interacting. Pieces of it are moving or sort of vibrating and stuff, which means that on the one hand, there's interference and recalibration that has to be done. On the other hand, you have much better information now. You have actual data that you can work with.
Cool.
So
how's like crew morale on the board right now? Now that we're actually here, how is like the general vibe?
Roll an insight check for me.
Oh dear.
Have you burned that luck die yet? We only have 20 minutes left.
Oh no, I haven't. Let's burn that luck die. Do I just roll again?
Yeah, you just roll again and take the better of the two.
Oh, hey.
A 17.
A little bit better.
So this crew is one of the most experienced in Pyrespace. Like the adventures that they've been on, they went from being a ragtag bunch of former pirates to working for the court of Fluris and just being given. And so they have been to every single system. They have barely escaped from Yuan-Ti. They've been attacked by dinosaurs. They've battled drow pirates in space. Like they've done everything. They haven't done this, but they're handling it pretty well. There's definitely some apprehension and some caution, but like they're not green. They're used to the unknown.
Okay, cool.
Morale is good. That's what I would say. Morale is good.
So I think for the most part, like Dolores is just gonna be acquainting herself with her highfalutin new mandolin. Trying to put this weird little journey into musical words and stuff. Because the astral plane is very different.
I don't know if they had the theremin on Ascus, but that's the most musically appropriate for right now, I think. That was muted, right, when I did that?
I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you didn't just hear me blowing my nose, then the system's working. Would not want that.
Yeah, 1920s rather than 1960s. So
but with that weird bit of extra technology on top, so you never know.
Yeah, true.
Here's what I'd say. Someone somewhere has invented something that is similar to a theremin, but operates off of Inagua. And so it has something to do with like the relative virtue of the person using it, you know?
You can only play this instrument if you are this virtuous.
Exactly.
What if it's just like an electric tuning fork and the sound it makes is based on your virtuosity?
It channels an aqua in the air and it's powered by virtue and stuff. Yeah.
Oh wow, Does that make being a virtuoso literal?
Whoa.
Huh.
All right. Lafon.
Yee.
Please roll 200 d20.
Ooh.
200 d20?
That's a lot of d20s.
Yeah, it's like
2,173. That is actually almost exactly how much gold I have.
Okay.
It's 102 gold off. Like 102 off my current gold value.
You encounter nothing
What?
for 60 hours of travel.
Okay.
Almost 3 days go
days.
by. There is no day. There is no night. There is no mealtime. They brought food,
no.
but like it quickly becomes apparent that one of the major risks you have is just completely dissociating from any kind of schedule. Boguk notices this and institutes like regular bells and crew workout and like music time, training time, cleaning time. Like he sets up a schedule to prevent the crew from losing their minds.
Got it.
Smart man.
But it's completely artificial, just absolutely made up. Day'lorise, roll 1d100, please.
Okay.
Oh. I don't think I've ever seen a 100 rolled in a D100 before.
I don't think I have either.
I have. So in Anakra, the setting for Quest for the Book of Dawn and Ioth Academy, if you say the name of the gods, there is a chance they will hear you.
Oh no.
So that's why people, you know how there's like, oh, we don't speak the true name of that person? That's because if you say their name, they could hear you. So when you're praying, that's good. But if you don't want to run around swearing, using the Infernal's names as swear words. And so anytime somebody actually says their name, I immediately tell them to roll 1d100.
Uh-oh.
And there was a time when somebody desperately needed help and they called out and rolled 1d100 and it completely changed the entire course of the campaign. I could not have scripted that crap.
Wow.
It's actually happened more than once. Okay, I need to look this thing up to see what it would do and how the encounter would go down, because the sight lines in the astral plane are absolutely enormous.
Cover? Never heard of it.
there's no curvature of the earth to deal with. Like,
yeah. It does make it's like the spherical cow, but like actually.
Yeah. Physicists are like, I would love this if movement wasn't based on your mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Lafon, roll 1d3. And then both of you roll perception checks, please.
So I maxed out that one.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then
Oh.
We are so back.
Day'lorise, roll one. Go ahead.
You know what my theory is, actually? Because we had such a long hiatus, all my early rolls was an addition of all my low rolls prior.
Oh, so they just compounded.
Yeah, exactly. And now that's gone.
Okay, we've run through it. All right.
Damn. This is why you gotta play regularly so it doesn't roll over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or don't play and then like only play very short games.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Off in the distance.
Oh no! What is that?
Day 3, maybe, perhaps. Yasmeen, you see 3 insectoid monsters, about human, taller than human, but medium-sized, mechanically speaking. With they have legs and then 4 arms with pincers. They're carrying pitchforks. Their eyes are glowing red orbs. And they're just sort of like flying past you.
Sorry, I saw them or Day'lorise saw them?
Oh, yeah, sorry, you had the bad roll. Day'lorise, you saw them. You see these creatures. You're the first one on board to spot them. It's likely that the lookout will spot them shortly thereafter. And you can't tell how far away they are. Like, they start as dots, and they get closer and closer. It doesn't look like... They're getting closer to you, but it doesn't seem like they're going right towards you. It seems more like your paths are crossing.
And they're how big?
About human size.
Lovely.
Like I said, 4 arms because they're insectoid and they're carrying pitchforks, tridents. War tridents. They're not pitchforks, they're tridents. They're weapons of war. As they see you, they start to drift. Like they're now on an intercept course.
Uh-oh.
The captain, the spotter has seen them. Actually, Mally Lyclin is in the crow's nest with her sniper flintlock rifle. So she's already up there aiming at them. Their crew is going to the guns. Everyone's just sort of like in alert mode. And eventually, LaFawn, you would be alerted to their presence.
Yeah. Okay, so on the battle map, they look vaguely mechanical. I assume they're not.
Correct.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get you a better view of them. One sec. Delete all secret lore.
Bye-bye.
And show to players. Beep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh.
Ugly things, those. That's not very nice of me.
Is there anything that you want to do before they approach? The crew's all on standby. Like this isn't something where it's just you against the world, right?
Yeah.
I would like to ready my crossbow just in case. At least as a show of force, even if we're not totally ready to take action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do actually have. Oh, that's wild. I'm going to. There's nothing I'm going to really do right now. I'm staying on alert, obviously, but no outwardly different effect.
Okay. They fly closer and closer and closer until they get within 60 feet of the ship. There's just tons of armed people. All of the pilgrims are ready to go. Dominica's boyfriend is just like chomping at the bit. Let me at him, let me at him, let me at him. Bogak has his blunderbuss. And are you wearing a ring of mind shielding?
I am,
Day'lorise?
yes.
Oh, Day'lorise, are you wearing one?
No, I'm not.
A hideous voice erupts in your head.
Which one of you is in charge?
Oh, it's waiting for me to answer. Does it look like I'm the only one that hears that?
Nobody else has reacted in any way.
Okay. In order to give the crew time to react to these guys, I'm gonna try to tell it it's me. Deception or persuasion?
Deception. You're lying.
Oh, I'm a good liar too.
We are between contracts and available for mercenary work.
Oh. Interesting. Okay.
We accept gold and souls.
Is that an either or both?
What do you got?
Okay, so okay. Cool.
Do you have enemies?
Sure do.
Can we kill them? Will you pay us to kill your enemies? I have not killed anything in weeks.
Okay, I'm going to kind of like try to motion to Dominica. Because I'm going to try to invite them on board.
You're going to try to do what, darling?
I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I think I got this.
At ease. Sort of. And
Okay, I'm going to invite them on board.
okay. The three of them, they just like plop. They fly towards the ship, and then as soon as they get within the ship's relative gravity, their own ability to fly starts to... So they sort of fly at level and then climb on board instead of landing.
Oh, gross. I mean, welcome.
We are the Spear of Gehenna. Take us to your enemies. We kill real good. What do you got?
Oh boy, good question.
They say something out loud as well
Uh-huh.
in a horrible, gurgling, sputtering language. What languages do you two speak?
Is this
Common?
on my character sheet?
What evil languages do you speak?
I speak vowel speech.
Oh, they're not speaking that.
Yeah. I'm also primordial speaker, but I don't think that's relevant.
That's elemental.
Yeah.
I don't think I have languages then. Oh, celestial, elvish, common.
It is not any of those. They look at each other and they speak again in a much more like, instead of being this, it's more language. Neither of you speak that either.
Oh.
I'm gonna get tired of this. I'm gonna cast comprehend languages on myself.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I don't think any of these fleshy mortals speak either of our languages. We're gonna have to do one-to-one communication the entire time. That's a pain in the ass.
Terrible.
Oh! Well, that's better.
So what two languages do you speak?
Abyssal and Infernal.
Abyssal and Infernal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put her on the list.
It's helpful for the blood war. They always need mercenaries. There's always good killing there. Why haven't we gone back to the blood war yet? Until the general says that the moratorium is down, we can't take infernal or abyssal contracts, so squishy mortals are the best that we've got for the time being.
Moratorium, sorry?
Oh yeah, the head of our mercenary order is currently negotiating with, Orcus and Bell. And until that bidding war is resolved, we can't sell our services to either side of the blood war. So here we are.
Oh, okay. I like a creature that respects contracts. So what are you doing here again?
Looking for work. You got it.
No, I meant the timeline for the killing of things.
Sorry, what timeline? What?
We're on our way to oh my god.
A dead
Not
god?
Carla.
Which one?
Oh no, we're on our way to a fortress stronghold. We don't know what's there.
Oh.
And we might have some illithids to kill afterwards.
Oh. What's the time frame on this?
2 weeks to 6 months.
Okay, those are two very, very different time frames. Those are different time frames.
there's a lot of dominoes to knock over between now and then.
None of them know what dominoes are. Could I get insight checks from both of you?
Okay.
I know what dominoes are.
Wow.
Yeah,
we're
probably.
really,
They almost
we're
certainly
really-
play dominoes on Oscus.
We're really rolling it here.
Okay. Day'lorise, these creatures are not particularly bright.
Okay.
They're foot soldiers. They're mercenary foot soldiers. They're very familiar with the mercenary business, so they know the difference between 2 weeks and 6 months, and they're not interested in getting screwed. But they're also not geniuses.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn to Day'lorise real quick. So did they say how much they were working for? Like what their rates are?
Not yet, but we have the ear of a king in Perianth and an entire dwarvish nation to free. So I'm thinking that maybe we can work something out.
What's your rate?
There's a moment where they look at each other. They're telepathically communicating with each other to keep this part private, since you obviously are able to understand them.
2 weeks. 500 gold each.
Oh.
No
Oh,
threat no threat too great, no battle too big. No extra for hazard pay.
Wait, sorry, say that last one again?
500 flat. No hazard pay, no premiums. Unless there's something here that can eat souls. If we run into anything that can eat souls, that's doubled. But as long as nothing here can eat souls, 500 gold each. No questions asked, no foe too mighty.
Well,
are they fishing for like a number that is ridiculously big here, or are they negotiating in good faith? Like this is
roll an Arcana check for me, please.
Okay.
It's because they're not very smart, so they may not know.
These are Mezzoloths. Mezzoloths are a type of Yugoloth. Yugoloths are neutral evil fiends who act as mercenaries in the Blood War. They dwell between hell and the abyss. These are their most common foot soldiers. I'm gonna share their stats out with you.
Ooh.
And I will let you decide if you think they're overcharging.
Oh boy.
Fair enough. Okay, straight up, I think there's no qualification that Yasmeen doesn't think they're overcharging. It's like you only know 2 languages. You couldn't even be bothered to learn Common. What are you?
Yes, it's still loading for me. Has it opened for anybody else?
No, it's still loading for me as well.
Oh, that's odd.
Oh, rude.
All right. Well, they have 75 hit points each, 18 natural armor. Their move speed is 40. Once a day, they can cast Cloud Kill, which kills people real good. Twice a day, they can cast Dispel Magic. They're resistant to non-magical weapons. They're immune to acid and poison. They have blind sight within 60 feet, so they can see invisible things. They deal an average of 17 points of damage per round in combat.
Oh, okay. How are they against psionics?
They're stupid.
So,
but they have magic resistance. They have bad saves, but advantage on their saves.
Okay.
So if they deal damage for us, they'd be good, but there's a high likelihood that they could be turned against us pretty easily. Look, I don't want to impinge on your honor as mercenaries and fighters. You seem let me finish my sentence, please. Have you ever been in a negotiation before? One person finishes their thought, then you return the. Anyway, neither here nor there. as I was saying, you look quite muscular and like you know what to do with those tridents. So thumbs up on that. But we are going somewhere where brainstorms hurt like a lot. Just wondering how you do on that kind of front. What would you say is your greatest weakness?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? When were you challenged at your last job and how did you overcome it?
Weaknesses is extra.
Extra what?
We're not going to reveal our weaknesses for free. That's just bad negotiation.
Well,
How
here,
much
let
for your weaknesses?
But what if I just tell you your weaknesses now? It feels like if I know what they are, then you've kind of lost your bargaining chip there.
I'm getting real bored. I haven't killed anything in 2 weeks. Look, we can't die, all right?
That's a
We
bonus.
can't die. You send us into a... There's a dragon flying through there. There's a Tarasque. I'll charge that motherfucker. I don't care. I'm going back to Gehenna when it kills me. There's
Day'lorise,
nothing to
your call.
lose.
I mean, I don't know what mercenary economics are.
300.
But
Roll a persuasion check.
Honestly, it could have been worse.
Day'lorise, are you participating in this as well?
sure, why not?
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
no! Oh no!
Hey, you know what would be really funny? I bet we could cast Cloud Kill here before they kill us and send us back to Gehenna, don't you?
Oh no!
And we'll leave our heroes here until next time, in the middle of possibly violent negotiations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Coriander's Society Adventures. We'll be back next time.